Stay out of the fast foods, you know. McDonald's is pure poison. It's, you know, I know we all love our Big Macs and everything else. It's kind of addicting after a while when you live on the road. But they're all owned. All of the fast food chains are owned by the Illuminati, the Satanists, who want to make you sick, who want to poison you, who are trying to curb down the population, along with all of these manufactured foods. You know, I like real food. I don't really, you know, wanted to see in my lifetime that the time we were going to go to astronaut food.
Most Europeans are not exposed to fluoridated water, and most of the European countries have fought tooth and nail to keep the genetically modified food out.
Yeah, you know, they've been able to accomplish things that we haven't been. They've been able to fight against fluoridation. They've been able to fight against the MRI vaccines and things that have been shoved down our throats. I mean, our media keeps it out of the media, so nobody knows, you know, the real truth about things that are going on. I remember reading an article last year about a guy who created fluoride, and I believe he resides in Canada. And he said it had absolutely no nutritional value whatsoever. There was absolutely no use for fluoride except for the mind control that the military was using it for on the troops.
Oh, Lord have mercy on our country.
Yeah, it's a mind control agent. And when I heard that, there was no way. In a lot of our public school systems, you sign vouchers for your children to be given fluoride once a week. You know, don't sign those vouchers and get your children off that fluoride.
It really concerns me how many Americans are not receptive to even simple changes, such as giving up diet pop. It's as if they can't think anymore. They can't reason. Yeah, and people want to know why they can't think 2 days, you know, what they did yesterday or what they did an hour ago. And a lot of the things that we're eating and we're drinking are killing our memories. Yes. Well, I think we should all be cautious, and especially today about what we eat. In a way, that can be a good spiritual exercise to think about what you're eating every day, and is it wholesome, and ask that it be blessed. So although there is a crisis out there, there's an opportunity to use it as a blessing.
Right, and that is one of the major things people need to get back to doing is asking for their food to be blessed. You know, ask the Lord when you go shopping. There's nobody more fun to go shopping with than the Lord. And if you go to a store and you ask Him to guide you as you're shopping, I'll tell you one thing, you always come out with the best deals. You'll find something that you don't think you could afford at the moment, and all of a sudden the price isn't as bad as you thought it was. I mean, it's just hysterical to go shopping with Him. So, yeah, let Him guide you on what to buy, what to eat, what to stay away from. You know, you can also just follow, you know, that little voice in your spirit that says, you know, get them off of that milk, get them on something, you know, drink more of this or drink less of that or eat less of this. Stay away from the hamburger meat. Oh, it's poison. It's getting dangerous. After I've seen that, I can hardly touch hamburger meat anymore.
That's a good idea.
That stuff sat in my fridge for 2 weeks and it never spoiled. What are they pumping into that? And finally, I threw it out after I got tired of waiting for it to turn brown. So, yeah, it makes you wonder exactly how bad. If you live on your own land, you know, I don't even think about getting a steer. My husband was thinking about getting a cow. Getting a steer. Some people are getting goats.
Goat milk is really excellent. And it's rather pricey if you get it in the stores.
Yeah.
But it's generally more wholesome than any other commonly available milk that you can get.
Yeah, I think a lot of things that they're doing to be able to manufacture food is because they know that with their HART programs that they're decimating our entire Midwest. They can't count on the farmer breadbasket anymore because they're destroying it with their weapons. So they're coming up with some alternatives to be able to feed the populations of the world. You know, and a lot of these countries have totally rejected the shipments they've sent them of this manufactured food.
And wisely so.
Yeah, wisely so. But you know what? There's going to come a point when there's no choice, when famine hits the land, when famine hits the world, as the Bible says it will. You know, what's it say? A day's wages for a loaf of bread?
Many Europeans are used to that. In the winter of 32 and 33, almost 6 million Ukrainians mostly starved to death. And they had reverted to cannibalism in many of the larger cities.
Well, you know what aggravates me is that now when I look back and I read history, and you read about when Lenin and Stalin and some of these other leaders, you know, the Russians that exterminated 40 million people of their own, that it was our brothers and sisters they were exterminating. You know, you don't hear about this stuff in our history books, that Christian persecution's been going on for hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
They hide it with civil wars or massive famines and starvations. I'm telling you, they were intended starvations to starve off the Christians.
The American press at that time hid that from the American people. In fact, they had cover stories saying that everything was just fine, the harvest was great, it was a beautiful country, and yet all those people died.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the persecution's coming. It's already all over the world. It's been here for hundreds of years, but we're just now seeing, especially in the last 19th, 20th century, millions and millions and millions of Christians have been purposely killed off in the name of politics for no other reason than to get rid of them. You know, this whole war, the wars we've started, you know, the United States is, you know, big protectors of democracy.
Mm-hmm.
They've gone into so many little countries that refused to bend to drug trades or bend to the Catholic Church because they were Christian nations, little countries, and we went in and took over their governments to install dictators. They're installing democracies anywhere. They're putting in governments of one leaders that they can control. Same thing they're trying to set up in Iraq that they're fighting. So, the whole New World Order has been working for hundreds of years, and we're seeing it come to a head in our lifetimes now.
Zeph had mentioned something about November 22nd of this year, and again, he didn't say anything particular, but do you see anything in that time frame as a possibility or a heightening of tensions? Or
well, you know what, November 22nd, I did not see us in martial law in November. It was a possibility for October,
mm-hmm.
but I think it's going to come and go. The only thing I'm seeing right now, and I can't say it's the only thing because there's other avenues that I haven't even looked at yet, but what I have seen is more of the alien dominance and Asian invasion. Now, Asia, I'm thinking, since I'm dealing with ancient Hebrew text, that Russia would also be included with that landmass of Asia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking we could very well be looking at Ezekiel 38 and 39 coming up.
Very possibly. I agree with you.
And most people don't recognize the fact that a lot of that speaks of the United States itself and not just the land of Israel. You have to distinguish when they're talking about the people of Israel and the land of Israel.
That's an important distinction.
So I'm thinking, you know, from what I can see, but we also know that these things can be delayed and they can be accelerated.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, as far as martial law, the United States being thrown in martial law for the next 2 days, for 2 weeks, whatever, I just don't see it for the month of November. It would have to start in October.
Okay.
I don't see any martial law starting in November.
Zeph also feels that next year will be a very troubled one for us. And do you tend to concur on that, or?
What?
That 2005 could be a very troubled year for the United States.
2005?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking, we could probably expect the rebuilding of a temple in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
The rebuilding of Solomon's temple.
Mm-hmm.
Their own little makeshift plans that they have. Definite possibility for the spring of 2005 or September where an agreement will be made for this temple. 2005 is a very troubling year.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks for calling in, John.
Well, thank you. God bless you, and we love your show, and we love you too.
Okay, thanks a lot. God bless.
Bye.
Next week, same show, same format, listener call-in. You know, if you have any questions, you can email me, SherryShriner@AOL.com. You can look at my website, SherryTalkRadio.com. If you have a question for the mailbag, send it in. And I'll see you next week. God bless.